Okay, we're on Eduyot Parak Gimel Mishnah Yud, 10th Mishnah in the 3rd chapter of Masachet Eduyot. We turned from Tumah and Tara for a little bit, and we turned to copy Mishnah that are borrowed from Masachet Beit Shammai, which talk about halachot of Yom Tov. So in order to understand this Mishnah, at least the first halacha in this Mishnah, we have to understand that you're not allowed to prepare from Shabbat to Yom Tov. You're not allowed to, from Yom Tov to Shabbat. Let's say Yom Tov falls out on a Friday, Thursday, Friday, or in Israel Friday, and then you have cooking on Shabbat. So you're not allowed to do bishul. You can't do cooking from Yom Tov to Shabbat. Okay, you're not allowed to do that. Asur bishul mi Yom Tov to Shabbat. Why? Because you're not Yom Tov. You're allowed to cook on Yom Tov for Yom Tov itself. You're allowed to cook on Yom Tov is mutar, but you're not allowed to cook on Yom Tov for other days. Shabbat is one of those days. Okay, but Chazal said on Yom Tov itself, you're allowed to cook a lot of food on Yom Tov. To eat on Yom Tov, and if it's left over, you're allowed to keep stuff left over. But Chazal said if you started before Yom Tov and you started cooking before Yom Tov, then you can continue the Yom Tov, that cooking from before, in order to prepare for Shabbat. And we call that, you might have heard of that, it's called an Eruv Tavshilin. Okay, so now this leads to a big machloket between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. Okay, Beit Shammai says, listen, there's three things that you can do for an Eruv Tavshilin. There's afiyah. There's one of them is afiyah, like baking. Bishul is cooking, and there's the third thing is called hatmana. Okay, and hatmana is when you wrap the food with a heat source, without a heat source, in such a way to insulate it in order to remain hot for Shabbat. So Beit Shammai says the following: if you want to do afiyah, then you have to have an eruv tavshilin of afiyah. You want to do bishul, you want to cook, you have to have an eruv tavshilin of bishul, and you want to do hatmana. Then before Yom Tov, you had to do hatmana. Okay. Whereas Beit Hillel says, no, you don't really have to do that. All you have to do is a regular eruv tavshilin, and it accounts for all three. Says the Mishnah, Shloshat Dvarim. Rabban Gamliel machmir ki divrei Beit Shammai. Rabban Gamliel is machmir in three ways according to the position of Beit Shammai. First one is ein tomin et achamin miyom tov l'Shabbat. You're now allowed to tomnin. That's the word that we learned, hatmana. Hatmana is, remember we said insulating from before Shabbat. You can't do hatmana of chamin, of the chalent or the soup or whatever, miyom tov l'Shabbat, from yom tov l'Shabbat, unless, let's look at the bar tibura. Sabri Beit Shammai, ein ofin ela im kain erev b'pat. You can't bake on Yom Tov unless you made an eruv tavshilin with bread. And mavashilin elim kain eruv v'tavshil. Can't cook bishul. We had afiyah. We had bishul unless you did tavshil, unless you made a liquid tavshil, a cooked item. Ve'ein tomnin. You can't do hatmana unless you had elim kain yilu chamin tmunin me'eruv Yom Tov. Unless before Yom Tov you did hatmana, eruv tavshilin, the triple eruv tavshilin. Ubeit Hillel savri the ofin umavashilin tomnin. Beit Hillel says no, you can do all three. Al eruv shel tavshil. If you only have to have an eruv tavshilin, it's symbolic. You don't have to do special symbolism for each action. One is enough. So that's the first halacha that Rabban Gamliel was machmir like Beit Shammai. The second one, ein ve'ein zokvin et hamenorah b'yom tov. These kov zokef to make upright the menorah, the lamp on Yom Tov. This is talking about the Bartunah says menorah shel chuliyot. It's like it's a menorah. It was a lamp that had different pieces that was put together. The pieces fell apart. Ein machzirinota. You're now allowed to reconstruct this menorah, this lamp. It's like bona. It's like building. V'yesh binyan v'kelim. And you do such a thing called boneh, even in kelim, utensils. I mean, you're putting it together. If you put something together, that's called boneh. Beit Hillel savri ein binyan v'kelim. So Beit Hillel says there's no such thing as binyan, building for utensils, for vessels. It's only in for houses and stuff. So that Rabban Gamliel pastor was machmir, was strict like Beit Shammai. The en ofin pitin gritzin, ela rikikin. Pitin is pot, bread. Gritzin, kikarot avot, thick bread. So Beit Shammai says on Yom Tov, okay, you're not allowed to bake thick loaves, rather rikikin, thin loaves like pita or whatever. Why? Ela rikikin. The Sabre Beit Shammai says, "Eno fin paten ruba b'Yom Tov mishum tircha." You can't make big, thick bread on Yom Tov. It's a tircha. Make you want to eat, make pita, make the easy bread. Don't make the thick bread. Beit Hillel omrim, ofin paten ruba b'Yom Tov. You can bake whatever you want. Shebizman shapat ruba yafehin afetza. Because if you make thicker bread, it's better. You're allowed to do whatever you want for simchat Yom Tov, for enjoying on Yom Tov. You want to have thick bread, enjoy the thick bread. Rabban Gamliel paskin like Beit Shammai. Rabban Gamliel says, Rabban Gamliel, mi'emeim shel Beit Abba, lo hayu ofin pitin gritzin el rikikin. Mi'emeim shel Beit Abba, from I can remember, as long as I can remember my father's house, they did not bake pitin gritzin, the thick bread. El rikikin. They baked the small bread, so we pass them like Beit Shammai. Amrulo, Beit Hillel said, Manas, or the Chachamim said, I don't know. Manas of the Beit Avicha. Fine, that's what your father's house did. What should we do about your father's house? Shayu machmirim al atzmam. Yes, they were strict on themselves. Umechilina Yisrael, but they were lenient for everybody else. Liot ofin pitin gritzin b'chori, to bake not only pitin gritzin, thick bread, but chori. Chori is isag gdola nefet agabek chalim, some kind of like chalim or coal, some kind of thick coal bread. So I think it's a beautiful idea. I remember very clearly. I remember once walking in Silver Spring, and Rabbi Einemer Zecher Tzadik Bracha in Silver Spring. He was walking. He had a handkerchief. He had a handkerchief on his, around his neck. And I was like, why did he do that? And he explained to me that he didn't use the Eruv. He was the rabbi of the Eruv, but he didn't want to use the Eruv. And I remember such respect that he asked him about the Eruv. He told everybody else to use the Eruv. If you want to be machmir on yourself. You want to be mekil on and be lenient for Klal Yisrael. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak.